Well, about 11:30, we received a single vehicle collision. Uh, Someone had been flagged down by someone that had been able to get out of the car, a passing motorist. They called it in. When our patrol officers arrived, they found a single vehicle that had gone off the roadway, off Olympic View Drive. They impacted a tree. There were 5 teenagers in that vehicle. The age ranges were between 13 and 16. Unfortunately, 2 of them did not survive. 2 males, both 16 years of age. The driver and a backseat passenger were both deceased at the scene. The other 3 passengers were taken to Harborview Medical Center. 2 of them had pretty severe injuries, broken bones and things of that nature. And the 3rd escaped relatively unharmed. That was the passenger that got out and was able to flag down a passing motorist.
Give it a shot real quick.
Okay.
You said you're still waiting to figure out the seatbelt situation and who all was wearing them. Could that have been a factor?
We are looking into who is wearing seatbelts. There's a lot of things that are going to go into this collision investigation. Our traffic unit has been out on scene all night. They're still working, actually, so they've been out for 12 hours at this point. And we still have more to do. There's a lot more investigations going to need to be done to figure out exactly what took place, who was where, and how we ended up in this situation.
I can tell that this is kind of tough for you to talk about.
Yeah, you know, anytime you have something like this, I mean, you have a carload of kids, essentially, is what it comes down to. And, you know, we believe speed was a factor in this. We have no indication right now that there was alcohol or drug usage involved. That's something we'll look at down the road, but at first glance, we don't see anything with that. And, you know, to have them go off the road and to lose 2 kids like this, you know, it's tough for everybody. Everybody who responds to the scene, that has to see it and deal with it, and the community as a whole, who, you know, essentially has to grieve this at that point in time. I mean, everybody is heartbroken, and it really affects everybody.
Rob, any questions?
I had heard a report that the driver may have been recently licensed and younger, like about 16. Have you heard anything about that yet?
So the driver was 16. The 2 that were killed were both 16-year-old males. So yeah, just by the nature of that, you know, he's a new driver at that point in time. And as we mentioned before, you know, we believe speed was a major factor in this collision. And good for everybody to take note, you know, slow down. It's not a racetrack out there. You know, get to where you need to go safely, and speed is unfortunately one of the #1 contributing factors in most collisions we go to.
And the roadway itself, everybody had been commenting this morning that it was a known very low speed hairpin turn spot. Could you talk a little bit about that roadway?
Yeah, almost all of Olympic View Drive is very twisty and turvy. The old nickname for it is Snake Road, actually, and you know, it's a series of turns. The speed limit out there is pretty low, and it's low for a reason, so that way some of the turns coming up, you make sure that you can make them safely.
And identities at some point will be coming perhaps from the medical examiner?
Yeah, so at this point, ultimate identification is going to come from the medical examiner's office when they're done with their exam. We are not going to be releasing specific detailed information related to those involved in the collision, and that's due to the well, basically the sensitive nature of what's happened and this tragedy. We are also not going to be putting out specific photographs of the crime scene, of the actual collision scene at this point in time. Considering what's happened, you know, we don't want to put those out.
Shane, can you tell us when the last time there was a fatal accident like this in Edmonds, speeding or involving teenagers, or just they don't happen very often?
We don't get these very often. The last major one I can think of was probably 8+ years ago on State Route 104. You know, yeah, we don't see this very often, which is good, and we're very thankful for that. You know, like I said, we want to keep putting that message out. Slow down. You know, make sure you get to where you need to be safely.
So Shane, despite the nature of the roadway down on Olympic Drive, where it twists and turns, it's not a place where more accidents occur, higher frequency of accidents than any place else in the city?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say we have a higher than normal accident rate on that roadway. And part of it is it's difficult to drive at high speeds on that roadway because
People
of the
are
nature
generally
of it.
careful there.
Yeah.
And as well, there's also people, I take that road every day, and there's people who walk along that side of the road, on the south side of the road. So, I mean, we're lucky that nobody was out and walking too.
Yeah, there is a lot of foot traffic in that area,
Traffic too.
and bicycles, especially with the park in that area. We see a lot of joggers, a lot of bicyclists out in that area. So, yeah, we're thankful that nobody was out and about at the same time.
Okay, well, we noticed it's posted as a 20-mile-an-hour curve.
Yeah, there are several curves in that area that are posted 20. The general speed limit is 25. So